that intro, if it can't get you going on a Friday afternoon, guys, nothing will. Speaking of Fridays, guys, welcome to another edition of Sports Memo's Pro Football Forecast. My friends, we come to you every Friday during the NFL campaign, bringing you tons of free winners, amazing betting insights, and a few laughs to boot from some of Sports Memo's documented leaderboard fixtures. So grab that helmet, lace up those cleats, get ready to make money in the NFL this weekend because we got an all-star panel. TGIF, thank God it's Friday, and we got one of the best panels we've ever had. Let's bring them on. Let's show this good-looking bunch, please. Let's go clockwise. My good buddy Ronald Cabang, Moneyline Matt, and Eric Pauly. Let me start with Ronald. Ronald, good afternoon to you. How are you today?
Doing well. I mean, it's that busy time of the year. We got the NBA, the NFL. I know some people do hockey, and we got the World Cup coming up. Just excited for sports in general for the next few months. NFL's been treating me well. I think. I went 0-1 yesterday, but still, since the beginning of October, I think I'm 14-6. So doing well.
14-6 at the beginning of October. And I love the integrity you get from the tappers here at Sports Memo. Ron says I went 0-1 last night. He talked about that loss. 14-6. Guys, I know the next day he puts that, it'll be a winner because he don't lose too many in a row. I love Ron Cabang. My good buddy, Moneyline Matt. Moneyline Matt, good afternoon. How are you today?
Hey, I'm great, Joe. Ron and I had the triple-double show earlier today. That show went great. Ready to talk some football now with you guys. And I'm 8-4 on the week in the NBA. I'm ready to hit some NFL. I want the same record in the NFL. I'm ready to roll. And let's break down some games.
Well, you're putting out some confusion. You have a T-shirt on, but a hat on. Is it cold in the house or hot? We can't tell. I love that Moneyline Matt. He's one of the best in the business. My good buddy, I love sharing a panel with Eric Pauly. Good afternoon, Eric. How are you today?
Afternoon, Joe. Doing great. Another winning week in the NFL last weekend. Trying to make another one in a row this weekend.
Great stuff. I'm glad you're here with us, Eric. By the way, guys, I want you to know, viewers, all three of our panelists are throwing me a bone today. I'm the only one without hair, but they all threw hats on just to make me look good because it's Friday. My friends, before we give out 3 roundtable games and a best bet, let me have a couple quick announcements. First of all, be sure to hit that subscribe button because you don't want to miss any of our sports betting content here on Sports Memo TV. And, guys, I say it every show. You know why? Because it's true. The customer appreciation at Sports Memo, unrivaled. We know that saving you money just as good as making you money. Couple of things I want you to know about. First of all, the $2 Tuesday featured cappers, all 3 of their 5-unit plays still available. My good buddy Jeff Michaels, JM Sports Insider's Room. You know him as Nick Parsons. And Don Buster, who's busting books. All 3 of their 5-unit plays. You get each one of them for $2. But honestly, the steal of the year. Get all 3 for $5 right after the show. And for all you football fans, and I know you're all football fans, guys, $100 off any football season package, including a combo package. Use code Touchdown100 upon checkout. And, guys, even though he's not on the show today, I got to toot some horns. My good buddy Rocky Atkinson, the Southern Assassin, wanted down south for killing bookmakers. Last year, 70% documented for the whole season in the NFL. Guess what he is this year? He didn't just take it up a notch. He moved to the penthouse. 90% NFL documented winners right now. And guess what he's got going on this Sunday? Already posted for you over at Sports Memo. His NFL game of the week. Guys, after the show, just because you ain't here doesn't mean we can't toot that horn. Rocky Atkinson, NFL game of the week. Numbers don't lie, 90%. Go follow Rocky after the show, too. You're going to follow him to the bank. Guys, go over to www.sportsmemo.com after the show. Take advantage of all these amazing discounts we currently have offered. Plus, be sure to check that deals page. I say it every show because it surprises me every day. Sometimes I'll have a special and not even be aware of it. They don't even tell us. They just put up a special. So check that deals page each and every day. Real quick, guys, I'm going to tell you, every successful sports bettor and sports handicapper I know use the Gold Sheet, the oldest and the most respected of all the betting publications after the show. www.goldsheet.com. Use what the pros use. And before we get into our 3 roundtable games, a real quickie. You know how I love that afternoon quickie at my age and being married 22 years. Nothing beats an afternoon quickie. Guys, for my good friends at my favorite sports book in the world, the Superbook at the Westgate, we wanted to make you aware of a couple of line movements in the NFL. Now, every week, we remind you, the general public, weather conditions, and injuries, they can all move a line during the week. But these 2 games were specifically moved by the wise guys or the smart money players here in Southern Nevada, and we wanted to make you aware of them. First, the Seahawks go from 3.5 down to 2. The wise guys all over Seattle. And the Jets, the Jets, Gangrene Jets, 13 down to 11.5. Smart money all over gangrene. 2 movements, Seahawks, Jets. Wise guys here in Southern Nevada. We wanted to make you aware of them. Without any further ado, guys, and because you know how much I hate to do, we got 3 roundtable games. Let's get into the first one. We got some great roundtable games, guys. 2 teams desperately needing a victory here as the Chargers sit behind the Chiefs in the AFC West and need to keep pace, while the Falcons, 4-4, they still lead the NFC South. They have a chance to put some real distance between themselves and the rest of the division. LA, I got to tell you, their money on the road, 9-4 ATS, the last 13 as a visitor. We're talking Chargers, Falcons, 1 p.m. Eastern time Sunday. Chargers, 349.5. Let's go to that good-looking son of a gun, Moneyline Matt. Moneyline Matt, the floor is yours.
All right. Thanks, Joe. So this is actually a game that I love this weekend. Eric and I have the Better's Almanac podcast, and this was actually my best bet on the podcast. And I've got the Chargers -3. And a lot of this has to do with the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to be honest. I think this Atlanta Falcons team is getting ready to fall off the tracks, essentially. And I think it's a solid buy low spot for the Chargers. You know, the Chargers were not playing very good before their bye week. They've had a lot of injuries, and they still have a lot of injuries. I do understand that. But all in all, this is a team that's 4-3 right now, and 5-3 looks a hell of a lot better than 4-4. I'll tell you that right now. And when you have a quarterback like Justin Herbert going against someone like Marcus Mariota, I'm personally just going to take the better quarterback in that situation. The Falcons have one of the worst passing offenses in the entire NFL, and they do have the ability to run the football, but the Chargers have gotten better year by year, game by game at stopping that run. One thing that they can do too is when you can't pass the football, you get incredibly one-dimensional. Okay, and that's what I think this Falcons team is going to do. And if that does occur, you know, the Chargers have Derwin James, one of the better safeties in all of football, one of the better safeties in pass defense, one of the better safeties coming up in run support. Okay, so I like that a lot. For this game, yes, Mike Williams will be out and Keenan Allen is due to miss. You know who I think is going to pick up the slack is Austin Eckler. Austin Eckler is a mismatch for any football team, especially with linebackers. He has choice routes. He has out routes. He has a little bit of everything. And again, like I said, he is a big mismatch. And they have those second receivers like DeAndre Carter, Josh Palmer, Gerald Everett, who can step up and make plays. I expect a big game out of Justin Herbert in this spot. And again, this is a situation the Chargers know they need to win this game to keep up with the Chiefs. This Atlanta Falcons team really is not that good. I think they've overperformed to this point in the season. And because of that, I am riding with the Chargers, and I love the pick.
Moneyline Matt. Great run over at Sports Memo. Says he's riding with the Chargers. Great breakdown, great analysis as usual, Matt. Let's keep this train a-rolling, guys. We're going to go to Mr. Cabang. Ronald Cabang himself. Ronald, LA, Atlanta, Chargers, 349.5. Take it away.
Yeah, I agree with Matt here. This is one of my favorite plays of the week as well. I know the Falcons do well at home. They're 3-1 straight up and against the spread, but they're really in a bad spot here. They're coming off an emotional OT win against a divisional opponent in the Panthers. Right now, they face the Chargers here that's coming off of a bye. They should be hungry for a win after going into a bye with a loss, the double-digit loss at home to the Seahawks, my Seahawks, and then they head over to Carolina again to face the Panthers. So I think this is really just a bad spot here, going from a divisional to a non-divisional sandwich. This just doesn't seem like a Falcons where they're able to like Matt mentioned, they're really not great at the pass, so they're going to be one-dimensional here. And the other thing about what he mentioned about Eckler is, even though the Chargers from a run yards perspective doesn't look that great, a lot of their yards coming from the pass, they use Eckler in a way where in short yardage situations, I mean, even though they're not considered running rush yards, they play a short yardage plays for Eckler in the past that kind of takes place of these short yardage run plays. So to me, I think sometimes when you look at the surface level of these stats, it kind of is misleading a little bit. From a matchup perspective, Herbert leads a really good pass offense. They're 11th in the league in points per game as well. 4th in average passing yards per game. And, that's bad news for the Falcons here. I know they have AJ Terrell, who was supposed to be a top 5 corner coming into the season, but it looks like in year 3 here, he's kind of regressed, and their pass defense is not as good as what we were expecting the Falcons to have. I know the Falcons have a great rush team, fifth in the league in rushing yards. And if you told me that the Falcons were going to be tied for sixth in average points per game after 8 weeks, I would have thought you were crazy. But, here we are. And to me, I think they are going to regress a lot, like what Matt said here. I know these teams that kind of match up in a different aspect where one team does something well offensively and the other team defends that aspect poorly. But I think this is a spot where the Falcons are just they're they might be too much of a spot to overcome here with that divisional sandwich spot. So I also take the Chargers here on the road where they are 3-0 against the spread so far this season.
Great stuff from Ronald Cabang. Great betting insights you always get from Ronald Cabang. You know him as Capper over at Sportsmemo. He's doing great work over there. Always a leaderboard fixture, multiple sports. So I'm going to run down. And if you guys miss any of these plays, don't worry about it. I'm going to run them down after each of the roundtable games. Then one more time, I'll run down.
Real quick, Joe, shout out to Handicap to Cap. He mentioned something really, really interesting, too, that, similar to what we were talking about with Eckler, the ATL is awful at covering passes out of the backfield. So that's definitely something that we'll see with the Chargers here.
Great stuff from Ronald's cousin, Handicap. No, I'm just kidding. Great stuff, Handicap. We got the best viewers in the world. Hey, Craig, how are you? Love you. We got the best viewers, the best fans, the best supporting stuff in the world. We couldn't do it without you, and we thank you guys, Handicap to Cap. But by the way, just once again, before Ronald cuts me off, no, I'm just kidding. Ronald said Chargers too. Guys, both Matt and Ronald agree. Chargers all the way in the round table. First game. Now, don't go anywhere. We have 2 more roundtable games, and we have our best bet segment. We always have a lot of fun here on the show. But when you work with guys like Ronald, Matt, and Eric, you can't but laugh and have a good time. Not only do we bring you some of the best content out there, we have a few laughs to boot. So let's go into our second roundtable game. Big NFC West matchup between the division's top and bottom squads. Seahawks took the first meeting just 3 weeks ago at home. Cards, but really not great ATS. 2-7 ATS. Last night at the State Farm Stadium, 0-5 ATS the last 5 versus division opponents. Seattle at Arizona. What are the bookmakers, what are the odds makers trying to tell us when the Cards are that bad with those ATS trends, but yet they're a 2-point favorite? Seattle, Arizona, 4:05 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. The Cardinals are 249.5. Let's go to my good buddy, one of the best minds in sports betting today, Eric Pauly. Eric, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so this line makes absolutely no sense. These teams obviously played a couple of weeks ago, and the Seahawks beat the Cardinals 19-9, absolutely dominated that football game, and that was kind of when the Seahawks as a team started really ascending defensively, and they've only been better and played only better since that last game where they beat the Cardinals 19-9. If you just want to go in terms of like DVOA, I mean, Arizona's ranked 30th, Seattle's ranked 6th, and the Cardinals, again, have that 2-point are Lang too. I know they're at home. I understand it's a divisional game, so there's a lot of factors that might not pop up necessarily on the stat sheet that still come into play. But I don't see a world where the Cardinals should be a favorite over the Seahawks. This is certainly a bet that I am taking, and something that if I see that 2.5 again, will be in a 6-point teaser for me, taking the Seahawks plus 8.5. It's simple, right? The Arizona Cardinals are clearly on the downward spiral, and they don't look like a good football team whatsoever. And last week, the Minnesota Vikings were literally handing them the football game, and Arizona said, I don't want to take it for whatever reason. They were unable to come back down a couple of just one possession. They were down 8 points, 3 drives to do it, punt, interception, as well as a turnover on downs to end that football game. So I think that I don't know how the Arizona Cardinals are still kind of viewed as a good team, because they're actually like statistically one of the worst teams in the NFL. Like I'm talking bottom 3. On the other hand, the Seahawks are clearly in the top 10, regardless of some of these preseason notions we may have had of them. So you're giving me 2 points with the better football team. It's pretty simple there. I'm riding Seattle.
Great stuff. Eric Pauly, one of the sharpest minds in sports betting today, says he's riding Seattle. Eric, great minds think alike. I looked at this game when the numbers came out, and I just couldn't figure the line. It just had trap written all over it. It really does. Let's see if our good buddy, another great mind in sports betting, Moneyline Matt, let's see what he has to say about the game. Matt, Seattle, Arizona, Cardinals 249.5. Let's see if we can make it all 3 of us agree. Matt, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I hate to break it to you guys. We definitely don't all agree on this one. This game absolutely stinks to me. It won't be on my card, I'll say that much. But yeah, this line stinks. And I'm going to go with the Cardinals here. And it's for the pure fact that I personally don't think the Seahawks are a team that should or can win 4 games in a row. You know, sure, the Seattle Seahawks have definitely been impressive all season. Geno Smith has been playing very good at quarterback. You know, they're definitely better at the wideouts. This is one of those picks where, if I'm being completely honest, there is not a ton of science to it. Just watching football over the years, things of that nature. It's just, I kind of feel like Arizona might get this done. I don't know what it is. It's just one of those picks. And, you know, when you go back and you look at some of the teams the Seattle Seahawks have beaten, you know, we're talking about teams like the New York Giants, who I'm still kind of, for me, the jury's still out on the Giants in my eyes. You know, they beat a team like the Chargers, who the Chargers have had a ton of injury trouble, especially on the offensive end, have struggled to get it right, beat a team like the Broncos, and lost to teams like the Atlanta Falcons and the New Orleans Saints. You know what that sounds like to me? A team that can beat anyone and a team that can lose to anyone. So that's why, once again, I think this line stinks, and I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. You know, in addition to that, the Seahawks won the first matchup 19-10 in Seattle. It's very tough to beat to sweep teams in this league, despite your record. So now they're coming to Arizona. Did not have DeAndre Hopkins before. They have DeAndre Hopkins now. Kyler Murray needs to stay off the Call of Duty this week, and I think Arizona covers. Won't be on my card, but I'm with Arizona.
Great stuff. Moneyline Matt doing great work over at Sportsmemo. Says great minds do not think alike. He's on the Cardinals. Let me just run that down. Eric says Seahawks. Matt says Cardinals. Now, guys, this is why the handicappers that were handpicked over are unrivaled in this business. We don't just have the same guys with the same angles and the same points of view. Everybody you see on these shows, everybody you see over in the leaderboards, over at Sportsmemo, when all our numbers are there, we're totally transparent. Guys, we all have different ways of looking at things. You're not going to see any couple of guys talk the same, look at the same, have the same betting odds. Read our analyses on these games. Very few of us have the same analysis on even if we're on the same side. And that's what separates Sportsmemo from every other company out there. We just don't have cookie cutter, the same guy. We have different angles, different guys, all winning documented winners. Go over to Sportsmemo after the show. I bet you're going to find somebody tailor-made just for you. You might even find more than one. Great stuff. We're 2 roundtable games in, 1 more to go before our best bet segment. Our third roundtable game, 2 AFC division leaders, both at 5-2. The Titans have taken 5 of the last 6 meetings, both straight up and against the spread, including last year's 27-3 drubbing. We're talking Tennessee at Kansas City. This is the late bailout game Sunday night. 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The Chiefs are 12.5 and 45. One of my favorite people on the planet, one of the sharpest guys in sports betting. Ronald Cabang, lead this one off, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, this one is an interesting game here. It's a large line, 12.5, I think is what it is at right now. Willis and the Titans the Titans are on a 5-game winning streak. Malik Willis is getting his second start in a row here. And to me, I don't know. He didn't really show much to me last week. Even though they got the win against the Texans, the Chiefs coming off of a bye is always tough as well. I mean, Willis went 6 for 10, 55 yards, passing yards, no touchdowns in the INT. They really had to rely on the rush there. And Henry had over 30 carries. To me, I think they're going to be a little bit predictable here from the offensive side of the ball. You really know they're just really going to focus on the run here. Chiefs are 3rd in the league in average rush yards allowed per game, so they defend the run pretty well. One thing that I looked at was how well the Chiefs do as heavy favorites against teams with a winning record, and this is since 2019 with Mahomes there. And when I say heavy favorites in this situation, I looked at favorites of more than 8 points, regardless of whether or not the Chiefs are at home or on the road. They're 6-0 straight up and against the spread with an average first half margin of plus 11.1 and a full game margin of plus 19.8. I also looked at how Andy Reid and Mahomes do after bye weeks at home, and that since 2019, 2-0 straight up against the spread. Average first half margin is plus 14. Interestingly enough, both games, their opponent scored just 9 points in each game. I think there really are a couple ways to take this game. It depends on what you're really comfortable with here, but with this large line, whether or not they have a great record ATS wise for a full game, I think I might want to stay away from it and kind of stay away from the possible backdoor cover here. The Chiefs first half or the Titans team total under first half would be the way that I go in this game. Like I said, just wanting to avoid the backdoor cover on the full game with such a large spread. in games where the Chiefs are double-digit home favorites since 2019, their opponents are 14-3 to their first half team total under. So either way, with that first half, Chiefs first half against the spread or team total under for the Titans would be the two ways that I go here. You're on mute. You're on mute.
The analytics you get from Ronald is just amazing. His betting insights, the way he looks at the games, breaks them down. Just, I don't know another guy in the business that does that. Ronald, just to be clear, if you do this game, it will be the Chiefs first half or the Tennessee Titans team total first half. Is that correct?
Yeah. I'm not sure which one I'm going to take yet, but okay. I'm definitely going to avoid that full game, 12.5. We saw what happened yesterday with Philly missing by 1.5 points. So I don't want to mess with the full game spread here on such a large line, even though some of the numbers are pointing me in that direction. I would stick with that first half here.
Great stuff from Ronald Cabang. Gave you a couple of different things to look at, and great stuff as usual from Ronald, what we come to expect from him. Let's go to my good buddy Eric Pauly, who is the only person that's agreeing with you about anything today on the show. I love Eric. You love Eric. Eric, Tennessee, KC, 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's Sunday night late game. Chiefs, 12.5, 45. Take it away.
Yeah, so this is a game that opened at KC -11, quickly shot to 11.5, 12, 12.5. Now where it's sitting, even some 13s out there. This is a matchup that if Ryan Tannehill was playing, for starters, and this is not like saying Ryan Tannehill's a great quarterback or anything like that, but if he were to be playing this game, I don't know how the spread would be, 12.5 points. And I would be all over the Tennessee Titans if it still was, but the Malik Willis factor is still kind of something that I cannot get behind. So the fact that last week's spread, of course, when they were playing the Texans at home on the road, completely flipped when Malik Willis news came out and the Texans ended up being favorites. But of course, as we know last week, the Titans made quick work of them. Now, you can't do that to the Kansas City Chiefs. I am really impressed by how well the Titans defense has been playing in the last couple of weeks. And I've been saying this since I wrote my preseason preview that Mike Vrabel is a top 5 head coach in the NFL in terms of just straight up decision-making in games, getting the most out of his players and making the opponent play left-handed and also being able to adjust when his opponent tries to make him play left-handed. So Derrick Henry is going to be the focal point for the Titans offense. Also the Chiefs defense trying to slow him down. While the Titans defense has been playing like extraordinarily well, given their kind of lack of talent there, the Chiefs are on a juggernaut level. Obviously, look what they did to Kansas City. Now, look what they did to San Francisco. So I can't lay the points because of how well coached the Titans are, while obviously the talent gap is there. So I don't want to take the points either because Malik Willis threw the ball 10 times, and that's not winning anybody games in the NFL, maybe an Army-Navy game. But NFL against the Chiefs, that's not going to hang. So this is something where I'm on a flat pass, not even on my radar really whatsoever. Maybe teasing the Titans up, but that's just like not even necessarily great value. That's probably negative EV. So not a game I honestly am looking to dive into on the board this weekend. You're on mute, Joe.
I mute myself all the time, guys. Sorry, because I'm always listening to all your breakdowns, Ronald, Moneyline, Matt, Eric, Pauly. I listen to your breakdowns. I comment. I go, oh, wow. I've been doing this for many years, and every time I'm on a panel with you guys, always amazes me. So I mute myself. Want to tell you, I do respect that, Eric. Guys, Eric just didn't come here and say, I don't like the game. Forget it. He gave you a couple of different angles to think about, some trends, some stats, some betting insights. Eric, I love that. Thank you. But he's a hard pass on this game. And that's why I love the guys here at Sports Memo. Not just going to give you something out that they're not going to bet themselves. That's why we are unrivaled. Guys, let me run down all 3 roundtable games real quick. First roundtable games, Chargers, Falcons. Matt says Chargers. Ronald said Chargers. We got the Seahawks, Cardinals. Eric says Seahawks. Matt says Cardinals. I love that. We got the Titans, Chiefs. Ronald said if, that hasn't pulled the trigger yet, if Chiefs first half or Titans team total first half. And Eric said it is a hard pass. Guys, like I said, best collection of cappers anywhere on the planet are at Sports Memo. And if one of these great guys, Ronald, Matt, Eric, if they're not tailor-made for you, I'm sure you're going to find somebody over at Sports Memo. But I know a couple of these betting angles that you've heard today has impressed you because they've impressed me. Now, without any further ado, the most exciting portion of the show, our best bet segment. I want to start with my good buddy Moneyline Matt. Moneyline Matt, he told you himself, comes off an 8-4 weekend or 8-4 week. He'll specify in a second. He's doing some great work. Prior to Matt coming over and as a handicapper to Sportsmemo, I knew of his reputation. I watched his shows. He does some shows for UFC also. His insights, the way he breaks things down, he's so analytical. He has a great way of looking at things, And I look at him, and he's a young-looking guy, and he is younger, and I'm an old-timer, guys. And I see these younger guys like Matt, brilliant guys, and I've worked with the best in this industry and the biggest names in the industry, and I'll put Matt right up there with any one of them. And I'm proud to be on a panel with him. He's doing some great work over at Sports Memo. He's going to tell you what he's been doing. He's going to tell you what he's going to be doing on the premium side, and he's got a free best bet for you. Moneyline Matt, please take it away.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Joe. You're always the best at gassing me up, I swear. So, again, I appreciate it. But, yeah, this week was referring to NBA. I'm 8-4 this week on the NBA. Last week, NFL, I think I actually had a down week. It was more like 4-6. So, looking to bounce back here. Really liking the card, though. I got a lot of plays that I feel strongly about. This one is a Monday Night Football play. So, wish my favorite play was actually a Sunday play. But yeah, this one's Monday night. And then also, if you are a UFC fan, I do have picks for this weekend's UFC Fight Night. We did the show on Thursday, myself, Andy Lang, and Kyle Anthony, UFC Inside the Distance. So check that out on Wager Talk as well. But for my best bet this week, I'm actually looking at the New Orleans Saints at +2.5, and I like them with the money line on top of that at +120. I think this is a great spot for the New Orleans Saints. They've been playing a lot better of football, and they're finally starting to get healthy for the first time since week 1. I really don't care about Michael Thomas anymore. They play well without him. He can leave. He can leave the Saints. I really don't care. But they still have guys like Chris Olave. Jarvis Landry is going to be coming back. And the key for this team is going to be Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara has been playing unbelievable football, and he's someone that the Saints were without earlier in the season on top of that. And with Alvin, he's usually significantly better out of the backfield, catching the football on swing passes, choice routes, things like that. But he's actually been running the football very well on top of that. And then you have the emergence of guys like Chris Olave, and now they're facing the Baltimore Ravens, who the Baltimore Ravens have the 30th ranked pass defense in the entire NFL. They kind of get roasted by almost everyone in terms of passing through the air. And now that this team they've made the decision, they're going with Andy Dalton going forward. Jameis Winston is the number 2, and he's been playing pretty solid football. Yeah, he makes his mistakes here and there, and the Ravens are opportunistic, but this is just a great spot for the New Orleans Saints, I personally believe. And when looking at this Baltimore Ravens team, this is the first time all season they've won 2 games in a row. They've been a very inconsistent team. They've been somewhat of an inconsistent team on the road on top of that. So that makes me pivot to this New Orleans Saints team even more with the Ravens on top of that. Rashawn Bateman went down for the year. He's going to get season-ending surgery. That's their number 1 wideout. And then obviously the team's number 1 skill position player in general in Mark Andrews, he's also banged up as well. If he can't go, it's going to be pretty tough for the Ravens to move the football. Don't get me wrong. I know how talented Lamar Jackson is, but all of us have talked about it on the show. When you become one-dimensional, you are that much easier to beat. Then in addition to that, the New Orleans Saints are getting one of their captains back in Marshawn Lattimore at cornerback. Not only is he great at covering receivers, he's great at coming up and run support on top of that. So I think that's a key guy coming back for the New Orleans Saints as well. And then again, all in all, I think this just a great spot for the New Orleans Saints in the Superdome, at home, on the AstroTurf. I'll take the Saints here.
Great stuff, great breakdown, great analysis from our good buddy Moneyline Matt. He's doing great work over at Sportsmemo. After the show, go over and check out Moneyline Matt. You follow him, you're going to follow him to the bank. Guys, I'm very impressed with Moneyline Matt for a lot of reasons. I like working with him, always very professional, but his insights and his in-depth, the way he breaks things down to the smallest T. He doesn't do it. He works without a net. It blows my mind. I've got notes all over the place. I got a note over here to remind me to go to the bathroom when I have to pee. He really does impress me. I love this kid. I know you love him too. After the show, go over Sportsmemo. Follow Matt. You're going to follow him to the bank. Guys, our next best bet is coming from one of my favorite people on the planet. We have a lot of fun together because we do a lot of content together. But he is by far one of the sharpest guys in sports betting, and he is one of the most successful guys in sports betting. You don't believe me? Numbers don't lie. He's always on the leaderboard, multiple sports over at Sportsmemo. And I like Ronald Cabang a lot because he really does have a very unique way of breaking down games. I know you like him because he's a winner. My dear friend Ronald Cabang is going to tell you what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing, and he's got another free best bet for you. Ronald, the floor is yours, buddy.
Yeah, over at Sportsmemo, like I said before, during the start of the show, there's a lot going on here. in the NBA, up 18 units already in the early season. In the NFL, last 20 games, 14-6, 60% since last Christmas. That's dating back to last season. So a lot of things going well for me in the major sports, in the major U.S. sports here during winter. College basketball is going to come up, and I think I don't remember what my record was last season, but that's one of my popular sports as well as college basketball. There's just so much going on, and I'm really excited for the next few months here. As far as the best bet today, it's one of the games that we talked about earlier, the Chargers -3. I'm excited about this game. This is my favorite game of the week. Like I mentioned earlier, the Chargers are 3-0 against the spread on the road so far this season. Just from a matchup perspective, I think the Chargers check all the boxes, and also the Falcons. They're just really in a bad spot here with the divisional sandwich, playing the Panthers twice here right before this one in a OT loss, and then coming up soon here. I believe they're playing on Thursday as well. So just they got a lot going on. Chargers, I feel like will take advantage of it, and we're going to see a lot of points on the board from Herbert and the Chargers here. So Chargers -3 is my best bet for today.
Ronald Cabang, he told you the numbers. He told you the figures. He is doing great work over at Sportsmemo. Leaderboard, NFL, NBA, it doesn't matter. It's on the hardwood, the gridiron. It doesn't matter if it's college or pro. He's a winner. After the show, go follow Ronald. You're going to follow him to the bank. He is a winner, and he's one of my favorite people just to work with. We always have a lot of laughs together. Thank you, Ronald. My good buddy, Eric Pauly. What can I say? You know, when Eric Pauly came over to Sportsmemo as a handicapper, I was familiar with him. He wrote some great stuff. He wrote a lot of columns and things. Well, the way you talk in Sports Memo families, and you know, because I was a fan of his writing, I snatched him right up. I said, we got to get this guy on the shows. I snagged him up as a regular on the First Family Show one morning a week. I wanted him on more, but he's so in demand because he does such good work. I can only get him on once a week. And now I got to pay him to come on the show because he's so popular. Now, my good buddy, Eric Pauly, he does some great work. And you know what I love about Eric is, yeah, he too has a very unique way of breaking down games. And once again, some of these younger guys, I got to tell you, I put him right there, and I put Eric right up there with anybody I've ever worked with. I've worked with every name in the book over the last 30 years here in Vegas. Eric Pauly's going to tell you what he's been doing, what he's going to be doing on the premium side, and he's got another free best bet. Eric, please take it away.
Yeah, so I've been tracking some bets for the NBA, but not to the point where I've been putting them out for my clients yet. Maybe trying to jump into that, but as Ronald and Matt can tell you, I don't know if that's the best idea. It seems like it's a little bit of a crapshoot so far this season. But sticking to the NFL, coming off a 1-3-1 weekend, a 3-1-1 weekend. We were profitable last weekend, had that push with the Lions. And just as always, I'm going to be packaging my best bets for a Sunday. Every single play I have, one spot, one card, one package. So definitely make sure you take advantage of that so you'll get every single play that I put out for Sunday. I'm up 11 units this season, so looking to, of course, build on that. We do have some time to go, but where I'm looking to find value, and I'll give you guys a 2-for-1 right now, is the Washington Commanders at home on Sunday taking on the Minnesota Vikings. That line was 3.5 earlier this week. It's sitting 3 now, and obviously you like that half point more if you are betting Washington. So I would say maybe kind of look around your books to see if that 3.5 pops up again, but I don't think that hook is actually going to be coming back. I think this line might be trending toward 2.5. Looking at this game, I mean, Washington really stacks up well against Minnesota. The Vikings rely heavily on that ground game with Dalvin Cook and Alexander Madison, and Washington's actually second in the NFL in rushing defensive DVOA. On the other hand, while the Vikings can certainly kind of tear Washington apart, their secondary a little bit, Washington's secondary is not great whatsoever, but I think that their defensive line is definitely going to be able to put pressure on Kirk Cousins. And Cousins is one of those players that, yes, of course, there's that revenge factor. He played in Washington, and yes, he is better on 1:00 games when nobody's really watching him play than he is on prime time. But Washington's going to be able to pressure him, and given those kind of extra circumstances, I don't think those are things to motivate Kirk Cousins as it maybe would to a more superior player. But I think this is a situation where he could kind of falter under that pressure. Like I mentioned last weekend when talking about the Cardinals game, Minnesota was begging Arizona to take that football game from them. They didn't do it, so now the Vikings improved to 6-1, but they're certainly not a great 6-1 team. So I'm going with the Commanders to cover that spread of +3. If you can find that 3.5 hook, certainly make sure you take that. And then a little side bonus. This is already loaded up for my clients as a 1% prop. Justin Jefferson over 87.5 receiving yards for the reasoning that I mentioned before, that Washington can stop the run, can't stop the pass. Justin Jefferson will literally be the best player on the field on Sunday. So 87.5 is too low. That's a locked-in play. Also looking at Washington plus the 3.
Great stuff. Eric Pauly said the Commanders plus the 3. If you can find that 3.5, definitely take it. And he gave you a bonus prop in there. He's doing great work on Sports Memo. Guys, after the show, make sure you take advantage of the best customer appreciation discounts in the business. Go follow Eric at Sports Memo. He's the winner. Now, guys, I'm going to come to the forefront real quick, adjust the headsets, adjust the volume, because I'm going to get loud. I am excited. Being selective has once again brought me to be the number 1 NBA capper on the website in winning percentage and number 2 in profit. I posted one big winner in Pro Hoops for Friday night, my slam dunk play. My slam dunks 3-1 already this season. I posted at Sports Memo right now just because I'm winning. I'm not going to price gouge you. I wanted everybody from $20 Pauly card bettors to 20 dime bettors to get this winner. Go into the weekend with a bankroll. $15 right now is posted at Sports Memo. Guys, I'm going to tell you, the best big game hunter on the planet is going to hunt, stalk, and kill the books again this weekend. In the gridiron, doesn't matter if it's college or pro. I will tell you this. I have a couple of big games for you. I know last week I won another 10% play. What am I in 2022 in my 10% plays? 17-2 documented. I know, and for a fact, I'm going to have at least 2 games of the month, conference games of the month posted later on Friday night for Saturday, and I may have a 10-unit play for Sunday, at least a 5 for Sunday. Right now, without a doubt, I'm going to make one statement. Go over to Sports Memo this Friday evening. Follow the best big game hunter on the planet. And by Monday, I promise you, you're going to name your next born child Joe D'Amico. You're going to love me so much. Let me go to my best bet today. And I'm revved up. I don't need a Viagra. Don't need Dr. Chuck to send me those pills in the mail anymore because we're winning. I don't mean to ruffle any feathers here, guys, but I'm going to go against some of our panelists today. I want to talk about Kansas City, Tennessee. I know the Kansas City Chiefs are one of the best teams in the NFL, but in all sincerity, guys, and I mean this from the bottom of my heart, who the heck are they to lay this type of one against the Tennessee Titans? Even Dice, my dog, is excited about this winner. Guys, I get it. The Titans are having some quarterback issues, but no matter who is under center, realize this. The Tennessee offense is not a passing offense. This is a team that's accumulated a 5-2 straight-up record, and for our purposes, a 5-2 ATS record. Guys, with the 31st ranked passing attack, they don't pass the ball, and yet they're 5-2, guys. Plain simple. I'm not going to let the odds makers trap me into thinking that if Tannehill can't go and it's Willis, that the Titans aren't still to play here. This is a team that relies upon the rush. I know the Chiefs, one of our panelists mentioned earlier, are very good at defending the run, but they have yet to face a ground attack the caliber of this one, guys. All right. Not only will Tennessee give them a heavy dose of who? Derrick Henry, who, by the way, is going to play. There was some talk he may not play. He's playing. Not only will he have a luxury of Henry running a heavy dose right up that middle and around those corners, but Tennessee will also have the luxury of eating up a lot of clock. You got to remember that, guys. And keeping the Chiefs defense where on the field, and what's most importantly, their offense off of it. Let's not forget, no matter who's at the helm, Casey ranks 30th in the league defending the pass. That's all I've got to say about that Forrest Gump homage. Defensively, I know the Titans are going to give up some yardage in the air to Patrick Mahomes. Not doubting that. But I doubt the Chiefs are going to have any of the same success on the ground here against one of the stingiest stop units in the league against the rush. That means Patrick Mahomes can't work as much magic as he normally does. Remember that, guys. He's a great quarterback, but if he can't do those certain things with his feet, he can't pass as well. Plain and simple. He's not the sharpest tool in the shed. I know he's great. He's got a Super Bowl in his belt. Not the sharpest tool in the tent, I'll tell you that. The Titans have won 5 of the last 6 meetings in this series, both straight up and against the spread. This includes last year's 27-3 drubbing. They've also covered 5 straight coming into this matchup. 4-0 ATS the last 4 versus the NFC. 5-2 ATS the last 7 on grass. 12-4 ATS the last 16 road games versus teams with a winning home record. And just in case you want some flip side trends, I got those for you too. Chiefs 0-4 ATS the last 4 following a straight up win. 0-5 ATS the last 5 versus who? AFC opponents. And 0-4 ATS the last 4 at home. They aren't the same team anymore covering in Arrowhead, sports fans. You take those points and you take your bookmakers' money. That's all I've got to say about that, my good friends. Good. I got everybody laughing in the back room. Guys, we're here to have a good time, but we're here to give you good, solid content, and that's just what you got. Let me do this real quick. I know we're running a little bit long today. Closing thoughts and arguments on the final show of the week for Sports Memo TV. Ronald Cabang for our viewers. Any closing thoughts?
Well, we just have a lot of between the 4 of us here, we cap a lot of games, a lot of sports. So head over to sportsmemo.com, just check out all the packages, all the promo codes that we've been talking about, especially on the NBA show. I mean, one of my major sports is NBA. Number one all time over at Sportsmemo in NBA profit. In the promo code Dunk200, I think, is one of the promo codes for getting $200 off the full NBA season for myself, Matt, and I believe Eric is part of that as well. So, just head over to sportsmemo.com and check out what we got going on. And hopefully we just keep providing great information and winners for everyone out here that's watching the shows.
Great stuff from let's go to Moneyline Matt. Closing thoughts and comments. The last show of the Sportsmemo TV week. Moneyline Matt, take it away.
Yeah, hey, I just got to say, shout out everyone on the panel. Go check out everyone's picks and plays. Shout you out, Joe, because before we came on the show, you mentioned I look a little tired. I am tired, man. My eyes are heavy. I was breaking down trends till 5 a.m., trying to find the best angles possible, and you guys wake me up when I come on the show. So I greatly appreciate you guys. Honestly, great comments, too. These comments have been growing with every single show. Great comments. You guys are pointing out stuff that we may have missed. So we greatly appreciate you. And, man, we got a great card today. Honestly, every single pick that everyone gave, I have as well. So I'm pretty hyped that we're all in sync this week. I love the Chargers play, Ron. So let's get it this week, guys. A lot of games to win, a lot of money to win. Let's get after it. Appreciate you tuning in.
I love everything about Moneyline Matt except for one thing. He says he's tired, he's exhausted, he doesn't feel too good, and yet he's still a good-looking son of a bitch. It pisses me off, man. And stop with the smile. You're going to stop. That's it. That's it. No more smiling. I love Moneyline Matt. And, guys, I know you love him, too, because his popularity has really skyrocketed over the last few months that he's doing the videos. Thank you. Let me go to my good buddy, Eric Pauly. Eric, last show of the week. You're closing it out. What do you got to say to everyone?
I just gotta say, let's go Commanders. And no, all seriousness, of course, appreciate everybody in the comment section. Your comments, likes, and subscriptions really is the best way to help our channel grow on YouTube. And also make sure you check out the incredible picks and plays that Ronald, Joe, Moneyline Matt, and also the $2 Tuesday that's still going. I don't know what you're waiting for. Get over there and get on these guys. These guys are gonna win you guys some money.
Great close to the week, my friend Eric Pauly. My friends, don't forget to tune into all of Sportsmemo TV's amazing content. Hit that subscribe button to get a reminder. You don't want to miss any of our Cappers free winners or betting insights. Thank you for tuning in, folks. Remember, increase your chances of making a profit. Follow the best collection of Cappers anywhere on the planet here at Sportsmemo, because we don't go gambling, we go winning. On behalf of Sportsmemo, Matt, Ronald, Eric, and me, Joe D'Amico, everyone out there, good luck and have a winning day.